Mabini is a first-class coastal municipality of Batangas. It's a go-to place for a lot of people when they want to have fun under the sun. And with good reason, as it offers just about everything you want in a coastal town. With summer fast approaching, you can bet that a lot of people will head here. And she is Samantha Coloso, Miss Philippines Earth Mabini.
Hi Mayora! Isang makakalikasang araw po sa inyo.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes po. So, unang-una po, gusto ko po sana i-introduce niyo po muna ang inyong sarili to our audience here.
Yes, magandang hapon sa lahat po ng ating mga kaisa dito sa Miss Earth Philippines, ang inyo pong lingkod, ang kasalukuyang administrador ng Bayan ng Mabini. Katulong po tayo ni Mayor Bitrics, Luistro sa lahat po ng adhikain, visions and advocacies para po sa ating mahal na bayan, ang Bayan ng Mabini.
Yes, Mayora. Okay, so my first question po, Mayora, is what is the best thing about Mabini?
The best thing about Mabini is we are endowed with a beautiful nature. And I must say that Mabini is the birthplace, or Anilao Mabini is the birthplace of scuba diving here in the Philippines. And this is because we have one of the best underwater marine biodiversity in the whole world.
Yes, and Mabini is actually also known to be the diving capital of the Philippines. So that is what me and Mayora are proud of as Mabinians at Batangueños, di ba, Mayora? So
That
let's
is true.
To our next question po, Mayora. So my next question is, what sets Mabini's diving spots different from the rest of the diving spots in the country?
Your question is very significant. Per our DNR, Mabini is part of the Verde Island Passage. And talking about Verde Island Passage, this is the heart of the Coral Triangle, which is described as the home, the breeding ground, the nursery of the most number of marine species in the whole world.
So, nasa atin po ang Verde Island Passage as Mayora said. So, we are very proud once again to have that in our oceans here. Mayora, my next question po is, how has the pandemic affected our tourism in the country?
It seriously affected, the pandemic seriously affected our tourism industry. Because we all know that with the advent of the pandemic, the first thing that happened, nagkaroon tayo ng travel restrictions. And facing these travel restrictions, most of the tourists, particularly the foreign tourists, were not allowed to enter the Philippines. And prior to pandemic, we are relying on big number of foreign tourists coming from different parts of the world. And with this COVID-19 pandemic, we are now relying only on the limited number of local tourists coming from different parts of the Philippines only, particularly Manila, mostly.
Yeah, so we're excited, Mayor, to reopen our doors and gates internationally.
Yes, but we have to face as well that it will take time. It will take time. And it is important also that we achieve first our aim for herd immunity. We are pro-vaccine. So, tayo po'y naniniwala that before we fully open our tourism here in the Philippines, kailangan po magkaroon muna ng herd immunity ang mga Pilipino.
Very relevant. So, if you're not yet vaccinated, go get vaccinated na po. So, my next question for Mayora is, face masks and face shields were some of the main waste produced by the pandemic. How has the LGU responded to this?
Well, even before this problem on the face mask and face shield being found in our underwater, we have been conducting regular underwater and coastal cleanup. So, before pandemic, we used to collect ordinary kind of trashes, no? But because of pandemic, when people are always using this face shield and face mask, what we collect during our regular underwater cleanup are the face mask and the face shield. But allow me to share with you some, no? It does not necessarily mean na taga Mabini ang nagtapon yan. I hope that people understand that may current ang ating tubig, may alon sa ating dagat. So, it is a possibility that these trashes, this face mask, this face shield are coming also from our nearby places or even faraway places carried by the movement of the water. But nonetheless, we are constant in our conduct of underwater and coastal cleanup. So, the problem about the trashes of face mask and face shield, I must say, it is under control.
And also to the people who have not yet done the switch, please do try to use reusable face masks and not use the single-use face mask anymore.
Yes, you're right about that. Perhaps to the people of Mabini and the other part of the country, maybe we should be considering now using the washable face mask instead of the disposable face mask to help address our problem of face mask trash and facial trash in our underwater.
Okay, thank you, Mayora. My next question is, how has the pandemic affected the implementation of projects, and how did the LGUs adapt?
About the pandemic, it affected the projects in as far as our tourism-based programs are concerned. We used to have activities in tourism dealing with our foreign and local tourists, but because of the travel restrictions, we need to slow down on programs and projects concerning our tourism industry. But nevertheless, we are still here, and I believe that tourism industry of Mabini is coping. It is coping with the current pandemic.
Yes, we are. So my next question for Mayora is, were the new marine protection or sea conservation projects that were implemented to address these problems brought by the pandemic, such as face masks and face shields, like na-affect po ba yung ating marine creatures? Were they greatly affected? Or
in a way, they've been affected by the trashes of face mask and face shield, but as I have previously stated, we have been conducting regular underwater cleanup. So I understand that the extent of the effect of these trashes is not really that significant.
yes, and from our last coastal cleanup, di ba, Mayora, there were dolphins actually.
Yes. Yes, and there will not be dolphins around if really the underwater is seriously plagued with trashes of face mask and face shield.
That's true, and it's very exciting just to see them right in front of you.
You were welcomed by the dolphins.
Yes, I was. Okay, Mayora. So my final question for you po is, what is your message of encouragement for the people to support the LGU's environmental protection projects?
Yes, to the people of Mabini and the rest of the world, I am appealing that we all support the programs and projects for environmental protection, conservation, and preservation. After all, ang tawag po sa atin ng batas, we are just mere the steward of this nation. We are just mere the steward of this world. Tayo po ang tagapag-alaga ng mundo. Tayo po ang tagapag-alaga ng kalikasan. And we owe it to the coming generation to take care of this beautiful endowment of nature para pagdating po ng younger generation, they can still embrace, enjoy, and be proud of the beautiful nature and Mabini that we have.
Yes. Thank you so much for that, Mayora.
Thank you.
These stewards of sustainability, after all, we only have one planet. Thank you, Mayora.
Thank you.